Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. This video is probably going to be chalked up. Some of the folks that watch this channel sometimes say I get into a bit of a negative mode, a bit pessimistic. But I kind of view it more as a reality check sometimes. I've gotten a lot of, well, I always get a lot of emails from folks that they're sort of trying to interpret their way through certain of the immigration rules. And sometimes there's ambiguity. In this video, I'm talking about it specifically in the context of retirement visas, and I'll get into details on that in a minute. But the overall principle to take away from this video is if something can go either way, if there's a requirement out there and there's some latitude that can be granted, or if it's left to the discretion of the officer. And I'm not saying this to cast aspersions at any officers. I'll explain why in a moment. But presume it's not going to go your way. Presume the negative. And the reason for this is when it does fail to go the way that you anticipate, go the way that you presume, you end up in a far worse position. And I'm not casting aspersions. Some things are left to officer discretion. And one thing people really need, in my opinion, to kind of grasp is, immigration matters, they are similar to a court adjudication. And when people go into court, they're very accustomed to a level of uncertainty with respect to that adjudication. Immigration is something similar. It's not exactly the same. You haven't committed a crime. There's not going to be a punishment involved. But you are requesting a benefit. You're requesting it from the government. And the government has authorized personnel, sworn personnel, who have the discretion to issue that benefit, to grant that benefit, or deny it. And it's my opinion, much like when going to court, although I haven't gone to court very much in about 14 years, but when dealing with an adjudication such as an immigration application, don't go into it. Like, for example, with retirement visas, we've seen folks that'll say, "Oh, I'm just going to let it slide on the way that my pension money was brought into my account. It's not going to be a big deal." Don't presume that. That's a requirement associated with the application, and it can go in a way that may not be to your benefit. So you shouldn't presume it's automatically not going to go that way. It's just, quite frankly, an imprudent way of dealing with things. Now, I do understand people kind of don't like it when I do these videos like on this sort of topic because there's like kind of an element, well, that's unfair, or man, it shouldn't work that way. Well, I don't know the way it should work. I just simply know the way it does work. And again, it's oftentimes best practices when dealing with immigration matters to presume the worst, because then you can prepare for it. And if you're prepared for the worst, well, then you're probably going to get through it without the worst happening.